Oh, hey, hold on a minute, Storm Miguel. I'm finishing up watching this video. I'll be with you in a second.
Juba, do you mean hang on, Maya?
Now what, Maya? Oh, what? I thought I was doing the show with Storm Miguel. What's up with that?
Don't you remember? You and Star Miguel have both have so much other exciting stuff going on. So QCC asked me to host the show. And since your band has a new album coming out, you're my first guest.
Oh, okay. Well, let's catch up on me then. Today on Live and Queer.
Welcome to Live and Queer, QCC's new queer art show. Since this is the first episode of the regular season, let's talk a little bit about what this show is about and who I am.
The way Maya, but didn't we like me and like Storm Miguel? We like I kind of did that already, like during the little sneak preview thing that we did during the holiday soiree. Why are we? I don't understand. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just wasn't expecting you until after the intro. Um, let's see how
I
we
was
do this.
I was just curious. That's why I was asking. I didn't understand.
Makes sense. I mean, Juba 2021 was like a dumpster fire inside of a rat's nest in the
Well,
circus of
yeah.
the damned tap dancing on my broken heart, right? So I get it. Some folks might have seen the pilot and some might not. So let's just, since this is the first standalone episode, let's go through the intro, make sure everybody's caught up, and we'll do that for this for the to begin fresh.
Okay, okay. That's right. I think you're right. That makes sense. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be quiet. For a minute and speak. That's it. Go quiet. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. It was a fabulous pilot. Just yes, we're gonna do this. We got it. Since some of you already know this, I'll do the intro. My let's see, like a gay radio announcer voice, whatever that means to me, and make it like more fun. Here we go. Live and Queer is a new talk show video podcast produced by QCC and generously supported by Cal Humanities and Fresh Meat Productions. We get real with Bay Area LGBTQ plus artists about what they're doing, what inspires them, and what they're trying to accomplish, and the way their art contributes to the LGBTQ plus and beyond culture and movements. As Juba mentioned, we sneak previewed the pilot episode at QCC's holiday soiree last year, and it was fabulously guest hosted by him and Stormy Miguel Flores. If you missed it, click the link above and look for the Live and Queer chapter once you get there. We'll be releasing new episodes of Live and Queer about every other week, so be sure to like and share this video to help us get the word out. And unlike other folks on YouTube, I'm not going to ask you to smash the subscribe button. No, that's not enough for me. I need more. Instead, I'd like you to ask the subscribe button a little bit about themselves. I mean, and then once she's warm, giving you clear signals and enthusiastically consenting, take one, maybe two fingers and just gently tap a little duck. Slowly push. But you could totally smash the bell for notifications if you want. I mean, we all need a little smash now and then, right? Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Maya Chinchilla, a longtime member of the QCC extended family and an artist myself, an author, media maker, educator, muse. But enough about me. We're here to hear from the awesome guest, Juba Kalamka. I first saw Juba with Deep Dick Collective in the streets of San Francisco years ago, and then later doing queer performance art all around the Bay. And I even brought him in to talk to my babies and babies students. So I'm really excited to have this conversation. Let's bring on Juba Kalamka.
Hey, 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 hey.
Welcome. So good to see you
It's
again.
awesome to see you too.
Yes, here we are finally. How have you been? How have you been in this wild world? I mean, I'm glad to talk about art, but you know, you do so many things.
I've been in yeah, like I work in a lot of different tracks and a lot of different places with stuff. I would say that given the circumstance, I've been it's been hard. I'm not pretending it hasn't been hard, but I've been really incredibly fortunate. I'm always telling people like that because I've been around and been in community that have lots of cultural capital. So like it's not really
Mm.
not sometimes not about money or whatever have you, but have being in a space where people care about what happens to you and are concerned about you is something that's been with me this whole time, and having been valued and having been supported and having friends and family of affinity, that kind of thing has been really important. I think I've been as good as one could be.
Mm.
Yeah, to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I hear that. Thank you. So let's get into it. Let's talk about your new band, Commando.
I should go like just to start about who is in Commando. So Commando is a project of the Living Earth Show, which is Travis Andrews and Andy Meyerson, who are these two young, immensely talented experimental chamber musicians. So they're classical musicians, but they do rock music and doing experimental music. They've been together for
Ooh.
just over a decade, doing that in all kinds of different places. And it was Andy's idea to pull this project together. And into it, he pulled Lenny Breedlove, who some of you folks
Ooh.
out there know from Tribe 8, legendary Tribe 8, and from Homobiles, the band, and the Queer Car Service.
Mm-hmm.
Honey Mahogany, who is running the
Yes.
transgender district today as a principal in that, and then later the world, RuPaul's Drag
Right.
Race, some really amazing records. Uh, Carlon Superstar from Double Duchess and a San Francisco drag legend has been around forever and forever. And Van Jackson Weaver's on the bass with the Living Earth shows. Amazing, amazing, amazing electronic musician and bassist. And last but not least, Drew Areola Sands, who again many of you out there know from the amazing band Trap Girl out of Los Angeles, and the Transgress Fest, which has gone across that transgender led rock music festival that Drew has curated, and it has gone up and down the West Coast. So I'm really fortunate to be able to work with some amazing people. It was Lenny actually who brought me into the suggested me for the project. I was not interested in being in a band. Uh, like micro indie or otherwise, but I actually it was in 2017. Commando started in 2016. That Andy started that particular thread. I met them in 2017 through Lenny. I said, okay, I can go have a cup of coffee with these cats. And I sat with for 25 minutes, and I was like, yeah, I'm down. They were that amazing. Yeah, they were grown
Ooh.
folks. Yeah.
Yes, yes, grown folks art.
Yes.
It's such a powerhouse, a group of people. I'm so excited to see more, and you know, maybe at some point live. Um, let's talk a little bit about the first release of the song
Hmm.
Hotel Essex. But a quick content warning before we play the video. The clip has some imagery like flashing lights that may not be good for folks with photosensitivities. So if you want to step away, our editor will put the length of the video here. Okay? So let's roll the tape.
Slowly rigging the sails, got a hold of his coattails. I'm lifting the back so I can jack Transmit the facts and fill a ledger with info, and then go back to the future. We can double your pleasure. Hit the button, pull the lever whenever. Trouble the water with bubbles. I say my y'all seminar, clever endeavoring, weathering better, and sever the tether end from this world to the next. Lucky the duckers to get the flex and the better sex. Cause I like you, you're black like me. Get in the back like me when they ask for 3 IDs. You see the DDC and the AZT. You, me, and he in the future that might be a medicine song. I know you're faking cause you taking too long. Never think of a fall. Never think of a fall.
Oh my God, Juba, that was so amazing. I feel like it was like all these feelings that I've needed to have in these times. I just feel it all warm all over my body. I
Thank
mean,
you.
yes, that was everything.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do that.
Yes, thank you for that. So tell me a little bit, like, what is nu metal?
So new metal is kind of, if you think about the very late 90s, early 2000s, bands like Limp Bizkit,
Oh
Korn,
no.
311, Seven Dust, all those bands that were coming out that were really kind of dominating pop radio during that that period of a period of a couple of
Bucket
years.
hats. That's what I'm
Yeah. That's a part of that as well. Very loud, propulsive, kind of math rocky in moments, but very hip hop and oriented, like hip hop or actually rap music oriented. A lot of 4/4 weird time signature, but then a lot of 4/4 stuff at the same time. And it was pretty notorious just in terms of the like really kind of retrograde would be a nice word he was saying in politics of it. If you might remember the debacle of Woodstock '99 was contextualized by it. So every awfulness
my
of
God.
like of white straight cis male
Yeah.
sexism, racism, homophobia, you name it, was a part of it. And so Andy had this idea of what Camp Commando was about, the idea of how do we he was a gaby at that time, and so
Okay.
what he had to what had to deal with was how he was the complication of being inspired by, like I said, about the propulsiveness and about the energy that like new metal is why he
Sure.
became a drummer
Okay.
and a percussionist, and he had the idea of like how will we invert use the sonics of that and the structures of that, but use that for good to address all of these address or comment on these sort of historical ills, but also on, like you were saying, about the moment, and about what kind of conversations we could have about that in the now. I think he described it, I think, in a moment as if that Commando is what like the child that what resulted from Bikini Kill pegging Limp Bizkit.
Okay.
So give you an idea
Now
of
you
like
got
what
me.
that,
I'm on track.
So
Yes.
yeah,
I'm on
so
board
like
with that.
so the sonics to give you an idea around the sonics and the politics of it. And Hotel Essex was kind of that we thought was an appropriate first kind of salvo. Basically, like in my take, I talk going back to saying what I was doing in terms of working with Andy, Travis, and Van, was that I've been producing forever. So they worked with a lot of electronic arrangements and the ideas that I had lyrically, what I wanted to do. Hotel Essex coming out of my long-term context for Marlon Riggs's film Tongues Untied, which Essex
Yes.
Hemphill did all the bulk of the poems. And
Right.
Hotel Essex is an interpolation of a poem called Now We Think, that
Right.
was written in the late 80s, and it was about the anxiety, some of the anxieties and concerns and dealing with being black, being gay, and in the middle of the throes of the HIV epidemic of that period, but also dealing with all of the issues that Riggs was addressing in the movie. And I didn't actually read the actual text of the poem until a couple of years after I saw Tongues Untied that my first context of
Okay.
it was actually the performance of it, which is a spoken word a cappella.
You saw it
And
live?
I didn't see it live. It's in I
Okay.
was actually in the video
Okay.
in Tongues
You
Untied. The
you'd read
whole
it and then
pigeon,
saw it.
the pigeonizing of or indigenizing of now we think as we fuck the to now I think of wafa, now I think of wafa, and that becoming
Hmm.
this chant spoke to me when I was 19 years old when I saw that. Grew up in Afrocentrist education
Mm.
in Chicago, where that was like black and queer was like there was this whole idea of that never the twain shall meet. But we know better than that,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Uh, but the performance of that poem in the context of the video was hip hop. It was dance. It was spoken word. It was all of these things that were speaking to me at the same time. As you know, Blackberry, who appears in the video, was in Tongues Untied, and that was part of the context of including him
Oh, wow.
in
Yeah. Oh,
in
that's
that.
so great.
But I asked him to be in the video.
Wow, that's so great. Yeah, I mean, there's so many layers going on to that. I feel like there needs to be like an annotated bibliography to come along, but so many layers. I mean, some of the lyrics that jump out to me, like "Trouble
Trouble
the
the water
water
with
with
bubbles.
bubbles," "Yemaya Semaya Seminar." I mean,
Yeah,
what is
that
some
was
of the
actually about
context?
my daughter Morgan, who actually recorded some of with some. This actually isn't on these songs, but actually recorded like vocals for some of the songs on other parts of the some other songs that we did. Um,
Okay.
is actually Morgan Yemaya is her
Oh,
name, but the other part of that was that Blackberry was confirmed as a Babalawo in the Yoruba tradition, and I think at around 2000, 2001, and one of
oh,
the and as my understanding, the way he gave me the understanding of it is just like there's a sort of a throwing of the bones of his whoever his Yawo was, just in terms of figuring out what his one of his sacrifices would be. So there's a reference to Yemaya in the water, and breathing and
mm,
air and bubbles.
hmm,
But one of the things that he had to give up, in addition to pork, that he told me was uh, fizzy drinks. So that was where that came
okay.
from. The trouble the water with bubbles. It's a Yemaya seminar. And there's also another layer. There's a film from the '90s called Butterflies on the Scaffold. I think it was in Brazil that it was shot, but it was about uh, prevention advocacy with trans and gender nonconforming people that was contextualized by Candomblé. Uh, but
Okay. Hmm.
but there was a comic book that was a part of it that was about injection drug use, and Yemaya was a superhero teaching the community how to clean their needles, and there were bubbles that were a part of that. So that was another little piece of something that was in there for me.
Damn. So many levels. I love it. I love it. So much. I mean, like you could just play it over and over and get so many different things from it. I mean, could you tell us a little bit about actually making the video, the thought process that went into it, the imagery?
Yeah, the video was shot at the Bayview Opera House, Ruth Williams Theater.
Okay.
Big shout out to Ashley Smiley and crew, and the amazing people who work there, and to director John Sanborn and his crew. So basically, Andy and I conceptualized the video, and we had this idea of it. It turned out like when we talked about our ideas, what we came to was that it was going to be a Marcus Garvey themed circuit party. So there were these circuit party aesthetics, and there was stuff that he introduced me to because I didn't know about like these really amazing performances that happen at circuit parties that people
Yeah.
work hard to put together that no one at the party pays attention to. Amazing
Okay.
performances,
Yes.
and combining that with black nationalist aesthetics, and me having grown up in Afrocentrist education and cultural nationalism, uh, and black queerness. So I approached Blackberry with that idea about him being in the video, and he just went tee hee 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 hee. down
Oh,
down with in one of our neighborly conversations because we were neighbors for about 15 years. So yeah, and that was what it was, and that's how you end up with like a bunch of white boys in red, black, and green wrestling singlets with fans that say "Black Lives Matter," um, who
you
who
said,
who
you
who gave
said,
their who donated their performances reparations. They are the
okay,
UNIACL light skinned reparation dance auxiliary. Want to give them proper
okay,
credit for doing it
right,
and allow me to have a
right,
pile of white boys to lay on at the
right.
end of that scene. Yeah, so it was really we shot that in a day. There was a day of shooting. There was some prep, but there was a day of actual shooting that happened with that. And there's a lot of amazing people who were involved with making that happen.
That sounds like a dreamy day, and I am still on Marcus Garvey circuit party. I mean, yeah.
Read if you just to put some nerdisms and some more humanities, if you will. Uh,
Uh-huh.
let's Colin Grant's Negro with a Hat: The Rise and Fall of Marcus Garvey was a lot of the inspiration over the last couple of years about reading, growing up with him in hero history, but also getting to read about him as a person and as a human being. Uh, it's The book is like a mini series on Marcus Garvey. If you based it on the exhaustive research of that book, would be like if you crossed if you took Roots and crossed it with
Okay.
Blackadder. Particularly Blackadder
Mm-hmm.
goes forth, the last iteration of Blackadder, and put those together, it would make an amazing miniseries that was like completely serious and completely ridiculous at the same time. I hope that's
And
one of the
all
things
of
I
this
hope
is
I ever have one.
happening.
Yeah, and all of this is happening. Yeah, in the content
All of this is happening all at the same
in
time
the
in this
five
song.
minutes in the 5 minutes of the song. And so, like, if you're paying attention to the backdrops that are happening in there, you have to watch the video. I would say a few times to catch everything that's
Mhm.
going on there that's happening there.
That sounds like a fun day. Like
It
I
was
just
amazing, and it was an amazing process. It was an amazing process to get to put, and an amazing privilege to get to put it together as well.
yeah, I mean, especially making art in these times. That's amazing. What do you so how do people get a hold of the album? You know, how can people get see the video?
You
What do
can
we need
go
to
to
know?
Yeah, you can go to like the album. The full album is being there's a second single actually that's came out just a couple of days ago. Mickey Blanco, that's called Mickey Blanco, that's led by Lenny Breedlove. That's out on YouTube. You can watch that. You can watch Hotel Essex on YouTube. Both singles are available on across all platforms. The album is released by Kill Rock Stars. So we're very happy about being able to make that happen and working with the Kill Rock Stars family and staff. So you can go to killrockstars.com, or it's available across all streaming platforms. And if you want to find out more about what we're doing, what's happening, like tour stuff that'll be coming up, the
Mhm.
album release is March 4th. That the full album will be out. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Commando Sucks. And so that's where you'll hear everything that's happening. Or if you happen to see me walking down the street somewhere and you want to know what's going on, if you're in the Bay, you know,
Yeah,
that's where you're here.
so that's amazing. And do you have any other projects coming up? I mean, I heard you have a new book of poetry.
Yeah, so Son of Byford is sort of anecdotally is about is a reference to the Run DMC uh, verse from their song "Hit It Run" from 1986, and the actual uh, very like about a minute long song called "Son of Byford." The Son of Byford, brother of Al, if you remember that song. But
Mm-hmm.
the reason why that stuck for me all of these years is because the first public elementary school that I attended in Chicago was William H. Byford Elementary School. So that was
Okay.
always a running joke with me and my brother when we were kids, and that was always something that kids who were in high school, had gone to Byford, that we were always singing that and changing lyrics and stuff to it. But the title is of the collection, represents just sort of a space between, or the liminal of my experience between uh, transitioning from the world that was mostly contextualized by Black nationalism and cultural nationalism. And that was the world I understood as a 5, 6, 7 year old, to being 7 years old and attending public elementary school, and the complications of like the privilege I had of the Afrocentrist education and the focus where like I was reading a couple of grade levels ahead, but also the cultural complications of like being in African American, culturally Christian, community in the main, when you have had this idea that the world was dashikis and Kwanzaa and so on, and and so forth. And I mean, you knew better because your cousins weren't doing that, and your
Right.
family in West Virginia weren't doing that. But being clear about what the world's colliding basically, and who and my ideas of self across a long period of time that came out of that.
Yeah, so we have the music, the way you're channeling some of that, all those layers, all those thoughts, and now also a book of poetry that is going to take us on a different journey. I'm just so
I
excited.
hope
Is there
so.
anything else you
Yes.
want to tell us? Tell us about anything else you want to tell us about either of these projects that you haven't shared yet? I mean, there's just so much, and I'm excited for it to come out.
I just I'm excited to have a couple of things coming out. There's it's and especially in this time, and if I would just say, like, in short, just that, like, if some of what I'm saying and some of what I'm doing can positively contribute, that was the motivation of Commando, to flip that and to positively contribute to the conversation and what we and to maybe inspire, to maybe, support, to maybe give a bit of breath, a bit of respite, if that's all that they could do, or some ideas, about, how to keep pushing, because that's kind of all that I'm trying to do. And I have the good fortune, my health and the relative, and like I always talked about cultural capital and support for the work that I do on an ongoing basis for a long time. And then people still ask me what I think, still. So I guess I'm hoping I'm saying some things that are helpful too. And I appreciate the
Yeah.
space. I appreciate the space, and to be able to make more space for people too as well.
Yeah, taking it long and slow and still being around. It's a gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be Otis, as in Otis Williams in the Temptations. So we were talking about a bit, and
Yeah.
don't nobody want to see you, Otis. It's like, that's all right. Don't nobody, like I was saying, a shout out to Whit
But where
Lopez in Philadelphia.
but where's Otis now?
Well, Otis is 80. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Otis is still
He's
alive and
he's
getting to
still
be
here.
around and getting to tell the story.
Yes, exactly.
That's not a
Yes.
shade relative to all of the factors that make people not to be able to tell the story. But yeah, but Otis, I'm getting to tell the story, and I appreciate to be able to get to tell the story.
Excellent. Be Otis. Thank you so much, Juba. That was so much fun. You have like an archive of knowledge just busting out of your head. Thanks for sharing it with us. All right, Commando's debut album is coming out on March 4th on Kill Rock Stars and will be available on all the platforms. You can pre-order it now, and their music videos for Hotel Essex and Mickey Blanco are on YouTube, and you can find their band account on Twitter and Instagram at Commando Sucks. To find Juba, look for him at Juba Kalamka, all one word, on Twitter and Instagram. Links to everything will be in the description. Also, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this video and QCC. It might come as a shock, but brand new queer art shows don't always get the love from the algorithms without a little help from you. All right, thanks so much for watching, everyone. We're gonna leave you with Hotel Essex, and see you next time. Bye-bye.